I'm going to take a look at some Glock 19s, and I don't have every single Glock 19, but it was able to scrounge up four different types, four of the more modern types of the Model 19. So let's take a look at your basic 19. It's a 15 round capacity. There's witness holes and numbers. All the magazines are pretty much the same. Little difference on one version. They have a barrel that's designed in such a way that it's disconnected from the frame, so that as you bring it back it's going to angle up slightly, and the characteristics of this standard model would be the grip texture, finger grooves, and overall kind of classic Glock styling. So the next one to come along was the 19 RTF, and the RTF has a different texture on the grip, and you can see that it's not really a giant difference, but it's more of little pins than a leather texture. Some of the first RTFs that came out had a different shape to the serrations on the side. This one, however, has gone back to the straight serrations. Next up we have the newest, the 4th generation, designated by the Gen 4 there. I guess I'll mention that there's nothing to distinguish in regular 19 from the RTF model. However, on the new Gen 4, it is a difference, and that's because the slide is different up front here. You can see that the recoil spring is much different, and it relates to the outside dimension of the slide or the inside dimension of the lower frame there. So in other words, the uppers are not interchangeable between these, so they mark it separately. But the big difference, as most people are aware by now, is that there's interchangeable back straps. So while they changed the texture and it's somewhat between the RTF and the standard, the texture is still sort of pins, but they're not sharp at all. But the big difference is when you buy the Gen 4, it'll come with 3 magazines, but it'll also come with interchangeable back straps. So for example, right now it has no back strap installed, so it's a little narrower than the standard Glock 19. I'm not sure if that's going to be totally evident, but we should see a bit of a difference. And now when we install the it's going to add a little bit to the thickness. And this is the medium. Nothing would be small. Medium brings it back to the standard Glock, and then the large you can see is a bit thicker, and it's going to bring it out to an even thicker grip. As I mentioned, they come with 3 magazines, and one of the reasons they include so many magazines is it's a little bit different than the earlier models. A standard Glock magazine, well, I guess these are all new models. The older magazine was designed to only work from the right side or the left side of the frame. On this one though, it's designed, you can take the mag release out and flip it to the other side, swap it so that it's now a left-handed mag release, and in that case the cutout is on the other side. So these are going to work with both. As I mentioned, the recoil spring's a bit different on the Gen 4, but not quite your classic Glock anymore. It looks a little bit different. Now last up we have the most attractive, the most accurate, the most collectible, and the most interesting of all the Glocks, and that's the OD green color. Again, no designation because the parts are interchangeable with the other styles. However, this one is the original texture, only in an OD green. Of course, the OD green makes it more accurate, and it's more resistant to damage, corrosion, the elements. So there's 4 options for the Glock 19.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.